this is one where you look at the opening line on this one, and the Rangers are President's Trophy winners. And I get it, President's Trophy winners normally don't win the Stanley Cup, but this isn't the Stanley Cup. This is the conference finals. And while they're favored to win the conference finals, they are underdogs in this game. Florida's taking a little bit of money, minus 115 to minus 105 for the Rangers. And it's a little bit of a surprise. I get that Florida's been a phenomenal team that had a great run last year, and they built a base on what it takes to get to the Stanley Cup finals again. But this is, I think, by far their toughest challenge against the New York Rangers. So a very good Rangers team. They play extremely well at home. They only lost 11 games at home during the regular season, a 1 in the playoffs. They're 4-1 at home in the playoffs. And that loss came in their most recent game at home before they closed it out in Carolina. They're 11-0 during the regular season in the next home game after a home loss. They just don't lose games at home, and they don't lose consecutive games at home. They're back game one. Madison Square Gardens is going to be hopping in this one. The thing about home ice, and I wanted to mention this one to you guys, is home ice thus far in the playoffs I'm not going to say it's meant nothing, but the numbers just don't back it up. Home teams are 31-38 this season in 69 playoff games thus far in the playoffs. 22-22 in the first round, 9-16 in the second round, and it's because the matchups get that much tougher. This is a tough one in a series. Lawrence, I think, is going to go at least six games, if not seven. And you can take that prop of the series to go 6 games, the series to go 7, and you can get plus 205 on each one. You can find them at different books. And if it does go 6 or 7 games, you lock in a profit essentially at even money plus 105. And that's what I did earlier. And that's one I like. I'm going to take the Rangers here. As good as this Florida team has been, and they're one of my favorites. I love the way they play. I just think that the Rangers at home, Shesterkin in goal, they had the advantage as far as goaltending goes. Florida's a team that takes penalties and have done so in the playoffs. They're the second most penalized team during the regular season. And if they take penalties, then New York Rangers power play has been very good in the playoffs this season. I just think a little disrespect for the Rangers here, Prez. And I'm going to go one further for you, Prez. I'm not sure if you know this, but the lines for the Stanley Cup are out. And in any of the matchups that are possible, Florida's favored over Dallas or Edmonton, and the Rangers are underdogs to both Dallas and Edmonton. That's a lot of disrespect for Ranger fans and that Rangers franchise.
So we had Arthur DeCesar on the show yesterday, Carmine, and Arthur DeCesar said basically what you're saying. There's no respect for the Rangers in the betting markets. Prez was on talking with Art, saying, "Why are the Rangers so undervalued? Why is New York the dog in the series? Why is New York the dog? Everybody that we talked to is saying the Rangers are the better team, yada yada yada, and yet the markets are saying no, they ain't. So what are the pundits seeing that the markets are disagreeing with right now when it comes to the Florida Panthers?"
I think you look at this Florida Panthers team, and last year they were up against it. They were pretty much road dog. A road team in every playoff series that they played, and they played playoff hockey during the last month, of the regular season to get into the playoffs. But they went on a phenomenal run. They beat Boston, they beat Toronto, they beat Carolina. They got to the finals. And at that point, they were a banged-up team. Vegas rolled them. And I'm not saying, even without the injuries, Teddy, that Vegas wouldn't have beaten them in the Stanley Cup Finals. But I think they have the playoff experience right now. If you look at the biometrics on which team is younger, there's not much difference in it. 28.9 to 29 for Florida as far as ages of the players on the team. It's the playoff experience. The Florida Panthers have it. They made that run last season to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. They know what it takes. And they're a team, unlike any other team, I think, in the playoffs, other than maybe the Dallas Stars, who can win a game, a fast-paced game, and win a 6-3 game, but they can also play a 2-1 game that's 1-1, goes to overtime. They are a multifaceted team that can win any way needed. I'm not sure the Rangers are that same type of team. Rangers over the last couple of years have been a team that struggled to score, but good defense and a phenomenal goalie has gotten them as far as they've gotten. If they go dry as far as scoring in this series, then Florida's going to beat them. So those are a couple of points, I think, on why Florida is the game one favorite. And as far as the series goes, the Rangers are favored, but it's essentially a coin flip in the markets.